you see again, that you see every day. You may not know the terms. A lot of us are born and raised into the Catholic Church. Some of the stuff we may learn when we were little kids. Some of the stuff we may have not learned. Some of the stuff that we probably learned and we probably just forgot. So let me see if I can share the screen. I would definitely, the first one I want to show, and again, I'll try to put all the links that I have on here, so you can go back and see them, understand what they are, read a little bit more into them. But my priest always says try to look for stuff so you understand as a child. So I thought this was a real cool depictions of things that we see inside Mass. Some of these items you may have been blessed to take them up whenever it's time for them to be utilized in Mass. I mean, some of them you may have not. As such as these items here, most of the purificators are up there whenever the priest washes and dries his hands. That may be up there already. The corporal, which is the linen placed underneath the vessels, all these vessels, whenever they are actually on the altar, that may be up there already. Some of the things that may be taken up for the gifts. Maybe the cruettes, which holds the wine and the water. Some of the times they may have that. Again, it all depends on your parish, what your priest is utilizing. So those may be me taken up there. Um, so the chalice is again, sometimes I'll put the wine in there, but again, the chalice most of the time is up there. But you'll see the ciborium or the paten. Again, these are just things that it's all going to depend on your church, which ones will be taken up there. Some churches, like in the past, that we've seen that you have a very large number of parishioners that are going to participate in Mass. You may not be taking the wine. I've been to some masses where they have several thousand people, and the small little cruet may not be enough for that parish. So they may have something symbolic that you're going to take up there because again, it has a reason on why we take all these things up there. Um, but I think it's cool to see it. I'll put it in the link so you can read a little bit more on the descriptions, what they are, the liturgical implements, why they're used, the purpose of each one of them. And I think it's really cool to see just those items. But another thing that I wanted to show, let's see if I can move this out of the way. Um, Besides that, is what the priests actually wear. So I've been very blessed to participate in Mass with the father named Father Clay Hunt. And this man, he does a lot of stuff with bikers, and so every time he would get dressed, he would tell you which each individual garment that he put on, what it was called, what it represented. And so I wanted to really show some of the garments that the clergy wear. So this website is where you would buy it from, but they have everything here, as you can see what they would wear. So a chasuble, which the priest and the bishop will wear. So each one is different, right? I mean, not a priest he's going to wear something different than the bishops. The bishop's definitely going to wear something different than the deacons. Some of them are used for different parts of the mass, or for there may be a special thing that's going on. So you may not see uh, it using that all the time during mass, but so these are kind of the images from the website. And I think I have it on there. I think it was a really cool thing that I learned in class one time where we were talking about just the number of buttons that's on a cassock. And I thought that was really cool is the professor talked about how the cassocks have 33 buttons on there. The 30 buttons representing um, what he did by the time he came out. Jesus Christ, when I say what he did, I'm talking about Jesus Christ, how he lived his life and enclosed. And then it talks about how the top three buttons those are the ones that are open because um, was whenever he came out and did his ministry. So here you'll see, uh, so that's the cassock. I don't think I have an image. So I'll there's a brief history on the cassock. So I'll post that so you can kind of read a little bit more. And of course, it has a modern use. You may not see a lot of priests wearing this anymore. You're gonna see them wearing just maybe some type of collared shirt. You may see like this image here, Father Thomas, what he's wearing. That's more a reference of what we see today. It's a normal button-up shirt, where the collar still be on there, but the cassock, so you can see the buttons here on the right. But I do have some. other websites. The New Advent is a website that really check out. They have a lot of great stuff. So the Dogmatic is again, you can see the imagery here. Just again, I just try to pull up the images so you can see what it is. So this is the one that we can go back to the other website that's used by priests, deacons, and bishops. So especially whenever they have the Eucharist and it's outside in the monstrance. You may see that during a lot of times during the first of the month when they pull out the Blessed Sacrament. If you've been to adoration, whenever they repose of the soul, you'll see them putting that on, especially when they're holding it. So these are some overlays that you would see a lot of the pastors that they would wear. Let's see what else we got in here. Oh, the cope. So I had to definitely, when I Google searched it, I had to put Catholic cope in order for it to come up because it wouldn't come up. And these we've seen. Here's some different ones that you've seen over time. So you've seen some pretty cool ones. Some bishops have some really cool ones that they get designed, have different meanings. And those, of course, that's a sacred vessel. I think this does a really good image depicting on them. So again, just some of the stuff that we learned, some of the stuff that you may see. And again, I'll post these links in there so you can check them out.